We have Prasanna with us. He's right back from Busan International Film Festival, and his film Paradise has won Kim Jiseok the Best Film Award. Shanmughadas will be talking to Prasanna. Shanmughadas is a national award-winning film critic and author. Welcome, Prasanna. Shanmughadas.
Thank you.
The film was premiered at Busan International Film Festival. Maybe we can start from that experience. Definitely, Shanmughadas has a lot of questions to ask to you.
So, I have been traveling to Busan International Film Festival for last 28 years. Busan Film Festival started in year 1996, and I was there with my first film. Why any film festival is, it's valid, because unless film festivals take the films, generally, let's say, the mainstream distributors will not distribute it. How could, especially the young filmmakers, platform their films? Now, at that time, 1996, Asian cinema was getting a kind of more attention than ever. Of course, we know there was before that great Asian filmmakers, Kurosawa, or from India, Satyajit Ray, Mrinal Sen. But there was a kind of especially from in China, we call them fifth generation of filmmakers like Shang Yimou, Chen Kaiger. They started to grab attention at these festivals. Especially they started in 1985, I think, with their film Yellow Earth. So I was benefited by this attention given to Asian filmmakers. Not only me, filmmakers from India and other Asian countries. So it's what more than the award, important for a filmmaker, I think. You will get a chance to platform your film. You will get a chance to launch your film. So this year I got with this award. Yes, it's very helpful to launch this film. And there was a lot of Asian filmmakers. When we talk to each other, let's say Bangladesh filmmakers, Nepalese filmmakers, Uzbekistan, we find that the issues that we are facing are common because of the globalization, the global capitalism. It's we are having a similar destiny. So you find that you are not alone. You find that there are so many other filmmakers in the world who are facing a lot of adversities, a lot of issues, yet try to keep their voice. Their independent voice, and to express that. So that is what I like about the film festivals.
So very happy to meet you again after maybe some 20 years.
Yes.
You were here with your film for the International Film Festival of Thrissur. I am from Thrissur. That was, which year I don't remember. The film was Agash Kusum.
Yes.
And I remember Ashley Ratnam, the film critic, he was also here at Thrissur that time. Why not, you start talking about film festivals in general, not just Busan Film Festival, because your experience of having traveled to many places apart from India and Busan. So something in general. So you know that there is also a sort of a criticism against filmmakers that the type of film is a festival film or award film, like that. Now things are changing a little, slightly different now. So something about that in general, the
Hmm.
film festivals all over the world, and
Yeah.
your exposure to it.
Yes. So why one should make a film? I mean, maybe different from filmmaker to filmmaker. I think as a filmmaker, what attracts me is the subject and the characters. Then you make a film. After making the film language itself is a universal language. But with the capital, the globalization, with capitalism, it's one-way traffic. We have become consumers. We are consuming films mainly from Hollywood or Bollywood. Let's say in other South Asian countries, except maybe Pakistan because they are not allowed there. But let's say even all the European countries from the Eastern European bloc, earlier we called the Eastern European bloc or the socialist bloc. Now more than their national film industries, the thriving film, the industry is the Hollywood film industry in those countries. So think about how could the filmmakers in those countries could survive, could find the audience. I mean, if it is a universal language, filmmakers should they should have they should able to reach to a global audience. Because of this one-way traffic, they don't get that chance. Let's talk about one filmmaker from Europe, Kislowski. Or Tarkovsky. Let's talk about Kislowski. Now his films were popular. He became popular after his films were programmed at one of the USA festivals called Telluride. Now, so then, people came to know because the films were shown and they saw something. Okay, there's some, novelty in this film. This person has some voice, some thing to say about the human condition and about the world we are living. So where that's what film festivals. That's what the matter, or that is the reason why film festivals matters to filmmaker. But if you are thinking, I know that you raise a very valid, criticism. Not you, but general criticism. Let's say there is some people. Some people say that because they are making films for film festivals, they are making films for award. These filmmakers, but when you make a film, if somebody thinks, okay, I'm making this film for Cannes Film Festival or Berlin or any other film festival, okay, if I make the film like this, I will win an award. I think it will not at least become a good film. Because when you are making a film, what filmmaker should do is to give attention, because in front of him, there's a blank paper when he's writing the screenplay with the scriptwriter himself. So there are characters. So it's the filmmaker's duty is to understand these characters and to find the truth about these characters. And when even the shooting, it should be I think it should be the reason to do a film, not the festivals or the awards. But personally, I believe that my film should reach audience, because I made this film because I couldn't keep it further within myself, within my heart. So I would like to reach it to many hearts. I'll be happy if the same feel will be generate in others also, and they empathize with those characters, the situation. So, well, my experience when it's come to film festivals, As I said earlier, it's a platform for filmmakers. But unfortunately, in today's world, all the right-wing governments, they're cutting. When it's come to the budget cuttings, they start from entertainment and cultural activities. So even a film festival like Busan, the organizers told me there have been budget cuts and they have to live with that. So the and earlier the film in let's say in governments didn't believe that they whatever they said they done, they at least they said that we value the expression of our people. But now the governments, when it's come their funding, they are thinking whether this event will be benefit for our ideology. It could be Hindutva or any other ideology. So therefore, they will choose the films that will represent this ideology. So filmmakers are today and all over the world are facing this.
Yes. I think you really made, not a direct attempt, but some indirect attempt at defining good cinema. Actually, my next question was, what is your concept of good cinema? I do not know whether you will be. No, you talk about your concept. You just continue what you were talking about good cinema. If you can extend it a little further.
Okay. For me, good cinema means it should be a individual expression first. That the film should represent the filmmaker, represent in the sense his worldview. It should have his own voice. Why we like like filmmakers like G. Aravindan and filmmakers like Satyajit Roy, because we see that this is how sensitive the person, how he's sensitive to his characters, and how sensitive he has been to the times that he had been living. So I feel when I'm making a film, it cannot be good just because it's well produced, good cinematography, good acting. That doesn't mean good cinema to me. It should have the identity of the director. That doesn't mean he should have a personal style. His personal style may be vary from the film to film, but he should. It should be come from him, not because of someone has invested. Then the other aspect of good cinema for me is the filmmaking itself, cinema. So for me, cinema means you tell a story or a situation basically through visuals. And when you listen to music, whether it's Ragadari Sangeet or the Western classics, without any, let's say, physical thing, it's a very abstract form of art, music. With the notes speaks to us. The notes so let's say Beethoven's piano sonata, Moonlight Sonata, it speaks to us with the notes. So with the shots, the way director has fused the shots, the two shots, it should create something in ourselves that is not told by dialogues. So you feel the film, that the film can generate the visuals, and not because of the beauty of the visuals, but the way they have juxtaposed. It creates a third meaning and it makes us feel and think. That is good cinema for me.
then what could be the role of the actors? Because I remember your Agash Kusum, which is about two actresses, one an
Yeah.
old woman, an actress,
Hmm.
and then a young actress. So what could be the role of the contribution of the actors?
Yes.
And also, technicians. They're
Yeah.
also artists, like
Yeah.
cinematographer and editor
Excellent.
and right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I will tell. I'm rather than generalizing. I will tell my experience with my actors and technicians. So first, let's talk about actors. I mean, on paper, as a scriptwriter, I can write. Let's say I will. When I am writing, when I'll be understanding all the human emotions, every beat that character feels. But a director needs great actors who will be able to live in those moments. And through, I mean, when the audience watch the film, I mean, they don't even speak about what they are feeling. The great actors are able to convey the characters what they are undergoing. So there is a saying: the great actors, the good actors, are like pools with a clear water. It's like a pool. It's like a pond with a rather pond with clear water. You can see the every emotions that they are undergoing. They are not good actors are not relying on the dialogue. Dialogue is only an expression. So I have been lucky to work with these actors, and especially there is a technical part also with actors. They have know the timing, because actors have three instruments. That's it's their movement and the dialogue and their especially the eye movement. So how actor should know how to use those things. So I was very lucky now I to work with Roshan Matthew and Darshana Rajendran, who could control their performance. That means restrain their performance while, I mean, living in the character, because they are acting for the camera. They cannot. There's a technical thing. And cinematographers. I have worked with two times now, Rajeev, Ravi, and before that, MD Mahindapala. That film Akasa Kusum was shot by MD Mahindapala, and we work about 8 films together. Then two films with Rajiv. So I have only worked with two cinematographers, and because finding a good, there's a saying again, good cinematographer is like, it's like a marriage. I mean, before making a film, whether it was Mahinda or Rajiv, we talked a lot. I mean, we thought of how to use the movement, the camera movement, the lenses, and the colors and everything. And so that's and I highly value the contribution done. I mean, or the contribution done towards my film, Mahindapala and Rajiv. And I was, I mean, both, I mean, especially with like actors, I used to, I mean, study, or rather search about the great cinematographers in India, Subhatra Mitra, or B.K. Murthy, who did Gurudat's film. Then again, Saji, who did some of Aravindan's films. Then Sunny Joseph, who did Piravi. So they were inspiration to me for me. And when it's come to the finally, you made a very valid point. It's not only director. With the actors, they bring their life into the film, because we ask the actors to simulate certain emotions. So we may not directly talk about it, but they may bring certain emotions that they don't even publicly admit about the human condition. So we need a good eye to judge it. I was lucky from, I mean, in Sri Lanka, my earlier films was edited by Lal Piasena, and he had an untimely death. Then from 1997, I worked with only one editor, that is Srikar Prasad from Chennai. So he has a great eye. So when I sit with him for editing, he don't go by the I mean, let's say the script. He knows the script. We work on the script before starting shooting. That's because of our first personal friendship. But when it comes, he go by the eye movement. What this actor tells or the convey with the eye movement, the body language. So he will go by that and find the exact beat of the situation. So I mean, this is I mean. So finally, as I said, it's director's vision. But all these technicians and actors, they are part of it, and they enrich director's vision. When I work with, especially with actresses, I mean, they have performed beyond my expectations. I mean, as a woman, being a woman, they have more understanding about being a woman. So I'm grateful to all of these technicians, actors who have enriched my films.
I think you have a background in theater.
Yes.
At the same time, some of your films are based on great writers like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. Your film based on Tolstoy's Resurrection, and the other one based on the Meek One, A Meek One by
Yes.
Dostoevsky.
Yeah.
So something about that aspect, literature
Yes.
and theater. And,
Yeah. So I was the only child of my family, and there was no one to play around when I was a child. So my mother and father left me with books. Then my father brought books from his library. At that time, he was a government clerk at Inland Revenue Department, tax department. So then I very early in stage of my life, maybe I was 12, 13, I used to read Alexander Dumas, then came across Russian literature. Still I love Russian literature, and I think whenever I get an opportunity, I will reread some passages or short stories, novels from by Dostoevsky or Tolstoy. Though later I have read most like modern and postmodern writers. But these writers, from them, what I learned and still learning is that how to tell a, let's say, experience without being its let's say self indulgence. When you read Dostoevsky or Tolstoy knew these all the counts and the Russian society which he portrayed in War and Peace. But it's not a self-indulgent story about this. He has been objective to the characters and all that. So the objectivity, one of the most important thing in art is the objectivity. I learned it from the Russian writers, and still I'm learning. And to tell you, I'm trying to now work on Dostoevsky's Gambler.
yes.
Yeah. So still, still in the morning also I made some notes about trying to understand who is Dostoevsky and hero, who is having a dialogue with his self and tormented because of the society that he's living, because of the conditions. So that's the importance for me, literature.
Now, my next question could be almost a question which you must have heard umpteen times. But if I do not put that question to you, people will, may find fault with me.
Yeah.
You being a Sri Lankan, what about the Sri Lankan crisis and other things? How did you handle those things in your films? I know that your latest film has something of that, Paradise, from what I've read about it. So something about that part.
Yes,
You are not just
Sri
a
Lanka.
you are a Sri Lankan filmmaker, but not just that, you are something more than that. You're also a filmmaker without the Sri Lankan or Asian. But you may not be able to escape that particular aspect also,
Of course, and I will not shy away from the question at all, and I'm very happy that you raised it. So I belong to a generation where we saw a lot of carnage, killing, and complicity and immunity of the governments. It could be any government, Sri Lankan governments. Let's say the government they were the partners of crime against minorities. And all the governments, they have made all the culprits immune to what they have, the atrocities they have done. Still it's same. And that's why Sri Lanka is unable, to come into reconciliation with the Tamils, Muslims, and the minorities. And the Sri Lankan politicians, thinking of the vote bank, they have divided and polarized these other ethnic races, showing that, telling to the people, your life, you don't have a fulfilled life, or your problem is not because of the system, it's because of that other person. So and they will every election, every party, major parties will launch hate campaigns against minorities, and even even the minority parties, from the people, the politicians. That hatred will assure them a seat in the parliament. So, as a filmmaker, I am ashamed of what as a human being, I am ashamed what has been. After the independence, especially, what has been happening in Sri Lanka, and our left parties, though they were in the beginnings, let's say in 1940s, up to 53 or 55, they stood with not, they had the stance that about this proper stance about, self-determination of the minorities. And they were able to rally around all the minorities, whether they were ethnic or religious or caste. But when it came to the parliament politics and the coalition politics with the capitalist parties, they have betrayed minorities. Not only minorities, they have betrayed the workers and peasants also. So, as a human being, when I saw 1983, how the people were killed, the Tamil, I should use the word, how the Tamils were killed, how their houses were looted, how the belongings, cinema, like film theaters or stores, general stores, all were burned down. So it has given me kind of a burden that I talk about it. So that's why I made 3 films. Even out of these 3 films, 2 films were released during the war about, what I'm feeling about the war and what's happening in the country. So not only Paradise speaks even after after the war, or the Now how the the Indian Tamils, it's a subplot of the film. It's not the main plot. Indian Tamils who were, let's say, imported forcibly sometimes to the Sri Lanka from Tamil Nadu and Andhra for the tea cultivation. So still how they are treated, because sometimes they are vote only what the value of them decide on. They have a vote. Other than that, they are still second class citizens. So it's all these things. I think it's not. I think I think that the burden that's a human being that I'm carrying, I should express using my art form.
It's actually an irony that there was so much bloodshed in a land which is associated with the Buddha. We have that big statue, I think, at Anuradhapuram. And I think that Buddha, even in the days of the Buddha, Buddhism had reached Ceylon. In those years, it was called Ceylon, it seems. Now it is Sri Lanka. So there is an irony that in the land of that great Buddha image, there was so much of bloodshed. I just remembered it.
Yes, it's ironical because Lord Buddha said that it's if someone thinks that his jati or his ethnicity is better than the other ethnic group, it's a sin. It's a jati klesha. But unfortunately, we have Buddha statues in every corner. But unfortunately, those preachings have not gone into the hearts and the deeds of many groups. But I am not blaming people. I am blaming the politicians politicians and even the clergy. Not only Sri Lanka, what about Burma?
Right.
And how these radical Buddhist priests how they have rallied around or preaching violence, against Rohingya ethnic people. So what happens there is, I have my own theory. Buddhism doesn't belong to any government. Buddhism doesn't belong to any race. Buddha talks about every human being. He said it's about every human being. The dukkha satya is about every human being, or the chaturara satya, the basic teaching of the Buddhism. But when aligned with the government, let's say Buddhism, its purity, its innocence, its ideological or its basic idea will be used by the people who are in power. It becomes the part of the power. I don't have to say that power corrupts.
Yes.
And when you become power, you cannot see things objectively. You act as like a power. You want to keep the power. You want if you're feeling you are losing the power, you will unleash violence.
So let us conclude with one question about film criticism. I put this question right now also because when I met you years back, Ashley, the film critic, was also here for the film festival, International Film Festival Thrissur. So I just remembered that part. So say something in general about that, because not just the film festivals, maybe the film critics also may have some role in, promoting good cinema. I don't know.
Film critics, I mean, we apart from we talked about the film festivals, but some filmmakers were, let's say, reintroduced, or the world knew. Let's say Hitchcock. Hitchcock
Right.
was known to the world as a master of suspense, but Truffaut and Chabrol at that time they
Right.
were critics from Cahiers du Cinema magazine. So they brought certain things about the Hitchcock that no one spoke about earlier. He's just not an entertainer. He's like Dostoevsky. He talks about the human
Right.
mind. He brings out the human mind into the screen. So that's the job of the critic. Critic is a person. He's a connoisseur. He has seen many films. He has seen maybe he has read a lot, and now because critic is a kind of a bridge between the artwork. It's with artwork and he bridges the audience and the artwork.
Right.
With his, with his objectivity, with his insights, he brings it out. But I haven't never gone to a film school. I learned by watching movies, and I read a lot of film criticism also when I was studying in the self-studying. I like American film critics like Paul and Kale and Ebert and Siskel at that time they were called. Then even now I read a lot of film and essays by David Walsh. So it's very important. Unfortunately, today film criticism has become a capsule film criticism. Because people don't have much time, so they want everything to know in a capsule, in
Right.
2 3 lines, and there will be stars. So they will decide. They will decide on the stars. Knowing this factor, the importance of film criticism. Most producers and directors say nothing. No, it doesn't matter to us. Knowing that, they will use their PR teams will try to use the film critics. I heard in some circles in India when after a press screening, something like an envelope is given to film critics. Some of the, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the film critics takes it on, but they will try. They'll try to make get good stars from the film critics. So film criticism at the moment, I think it's needed, and attention to the film. Now, even the questions that you asked and the chat we had, we talked about cinema. So it's not whether the Paradise won an award or not. It's we are trying to find out about the insights of this person. So like that, when you are writing, I don't have to say you will give more insight than a layman. So that culture we need, unfortunately, with the press being the space given to the film critics being sandwiched with the commercial ads, it's becoming marginalized. So that's one of my concerns, grave concerns.
Recently in Kerala,
Mhm.
judgment was made, I think, in the High Court against people writing readily against a film before giving enough time for the film to run in the cinema halls.
Okay.
At least 1 week should be given. Before such totally negative kind of vindictive kind of criticism.
Uh-huh.
No,
That's the other aspect.
purposefully destructive kind of the film should be given some time
Yes.
to run in the cinema halls. So recently there was that judgment.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, and it's like something like cancel culture, and it's to show that it's I am better than I have more knowledge than any, and to say a certain thing. Who's going to do take like selfies? Who's going to take it the first? I'm to say it, and it's judgmental. Film criticism is not judgmental. It's analytical. It should be analytical.
Right. So thank you very much. I hope we will meet again. If
Of course, and
something could be added to this, later,
yes, and
And before concluding, I know that you have said something about that film Paradise, but if you can add something, I know that it's not proper for me to ask the director to talk about his film that much, but who knows the film. Yeah, I would like people to watch it and then judge it. But since we have got an occasion, the director is right in front of us. So if you have something to add to what you've already said, if not, leave it at that. Paradise.
No, I will. Yeah,
especially because there is this Malayali connection.
Yes, it's
two Malayalis going to Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so not only that, now I have submitted the film to IFFK, and if IFFK selects the film for this year festival, I'll be there with the film, and you will find out when you watch the film that how much I have literally inspired by Malayalam cinema. I like to say it's like a homage to Malayalam filmmakers. And apart from that, what I say about when I met you in Thrissur, and from there I traveled to Angamali and Alua also. Film festival, societies, small film festivals. I screened Kasa Kusum, and I have been to IFFK many times, and it's always a pleasure to a film with Kerala. In Kerala, in the not only IFFK, other small film festivals. So I'm waiting for that moment to share Paradise. Then you will, I think it's and it's the production is Malayalam. The producers, Newton Cinema is from Cochin, and not only the characters, it's all the cinematographer, the team. So how Rajeev has seen Sri Lanka, how from with his lenses you'll find, and so I'm waiting for that moment to happen, probably in December this year.
This film has dialogues in Malayalam, Sinhala, Tamil, and Hindi, I think. So does that represent the Asian, or how does it?
Yeah, so the couple, the main roles, characters in the film, they are from Kerala, but they live in Mumbai, and they come to Sri Lanka. So they'll be like Malayalis. They'll be speaking in certain things in Malayalam, and certain things in Hindi, and certain dialogues in English also. So that's how the Indians, I think, exchange or they interact with the world. So I have tried to capture it, and all the lines and everything, Malayalam lines. I didn't have a Malayalam script. It was done by actors themselves.
quite interesting. A person with who loves literature and theater, and I think Darshana and Roshan, both of them have that theater experience as well,
Yes.
and you have given the liberty for them to present it on their own. That's great.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, I from the day I met Roshan, I was so happy because this character needed an actor who is ready to travel extra mile. Extra mile means who's ready to let's say certain things, to reveal her certain things that as men we don't easily ex- accept. So that's where a good actor comes. And I have already told about Darshana's acting, and I'm very happy that I'm not, let's say, trying to kind of give an opinion or a positive opinion, but I'm very happy that they have given these their best performances in this film. So I am grateful to them. And Rajiv also. I mean, Rajiv make me as a direct. He's not only a cinematographer, he's a director. He's a person who's thoroughly technical. I mean, technically thoroughly knowledgeable, but same time highly sensitive and highly sensitive to the world, the politics that around him. So, so all these factors, uh, supported me.
Thank you then.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank you so much. One film that you had co-produced, Bhagwan Bharose. So you want to talk one line about that before we conclude?
When this interview comes out, Bhagwan Bharose, I don't will be in theaters, but what can I say? Bhagwan Bharose is directed by Sheila Aditya Bora. It is his first film. Sheila is the person who introduced me to PVR theaters, and they released my film With You Without You. Sheila came to Sri Lanka and fell in love with Sri Lanka. Then he wanted to make a film about a filmmaker in the northern part of the island. But unfortunately, he passed away, the filmmaker, and we couldn't do the film. Then came the script of Bhagwan Bharose. I thought it's a bold attempt, bold script, and I decided to support him by being a co-producer. So I'm happy about my choice.
Thank you so much. Until we
Thank you.
meet next
Thank you.
time for a detailed conversation. Thank you so much,
Yeah, yeah,
Shanmughadas for the wonderful
yeah.
questions, and thank you so much, Prasanna ji. After
Both,
your
I mean, yeah,
long travel and right after the travel, you allowed us this meeting. Thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you. And the questions, then the mood created by Shanmughadas sir was great. It's a little restrained, but he has right questions. So I'm thankful to both of you.